Yes. Welcome to Tommy Bear TV right about now, ladies and gentlemen. And it's your man, Mr. Laughter, right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Sunday live stream, that's you guys understand. We always bring to you latest news with all my friends and stuff that we're going to discuss today, ladies. As you see right there on the title, we have issues affecting my motherland, that is Africa, with all sorts of stuff happening around the world, as you guys know. But there are a lot of news that we want to look at today, and it's very, very interesting that the world itself is falling apart in some cases. I would say in some reason, in some ways, but it's also advisable, and it's really a good thing to do as we understand that the world is going crazy with all its problems and struggles and stuff. But we are going to look into some of the breaking news that has been happening around Uganda, Africa, and the world at large generally. As we see, there are lots of news that happened this week or even last week, and we didn't really cover it. So we thought of really covering it today. I was supposed to have some of my friends coming in to join. We shall see if they come in, but if not, I will just go solo and discuss some of the things. If you have any breaking news around your locality, please let me know in the comment, and we can go on and see how much we can dive into some of the issues that is affecting Africa in general. Our main focus today is going to be on the USAID that has been really cancelled all over the world. It's not only in Africa, but it's all over the world. But we are going to dive into that and look into it and how Africa can really move on to change their ways of life, knowing that they don't have any other aid coming from any other place. But before we move into that, which is going to be our main discussion today, we still want to look at some of the news that transpired in Uganda, especially um, Uganda Parliament and the court issues. We know there are a lot of issues that has happened, really mainly in Uganda perspective. First of all, let's look at the court ruling. We know that Chief Justice, that is Alfonso Owinjolo Chikamoi, actually came up with a lot of stuff that we know for sure that affected so many people. Uganda wise, what they did for most of the things that we know for sure is that he ruled that all civilians, people who are not part of the army, are not supposed to go on to be tried in the court martial. And as we know for sure, that um, it's a very intriguing issue that happened a long time ago in the world of Uganda, because many times civilians were tried actually in the court martial, which is legally is not correct for many people. And so the people look at that as something that really happened, and it's not advisable for many people to suffer in that route, because they know for sure that if you focus on such a thing and you're making civilians to appear in court martial, it's dangerous. It's really, really dangerous for anyone, and we don't want that to happen for many people. And the court of Uganda, that is the Supreme Court, ruled against civilians being tried in the army, which was great. That is one thing that happened, but we wait to see if it is going to be happening, or it just remains on paper. It's not going to materialize, because as we know, a lot of issues are rising from that specific ruling, which never actually came about to do. Especially in the case of Kiza Besigye, we know for sure that he is still in jail in the court martial. He's arrested there, and many things are happening in his life in the jail. Much as he has retired from the army, he's still being tried there, and it's not going to be easy for him to get out. As much as we know, the wife Winnie Byanyima has been really saying that the government should move her husband, to the civilian court, because she thinks she uh, Kiza Besigye is being tried on almost nothing, because he's no longer a soldier. He's no longer doing any other soldier work. He's just doing his own political thing, which is a trouble. So let's see if that Kizza Besigye would be released from the court martial court to come to the civilian court. Let's see, and that's one story that we have about in the Uganda perspective. I mean, and also there are some other issues that has been going on with Norbert Mao. As you guys know, Norbert Mao was in Gulu in one of the radio stations in Gulu, and he talked about so many things, especially the absence of fund that is not going to be there in Uganda. And USAID is a very very important funding that comes a lot in the African perspective. It helps with HIV, it helps with malaria, it helps with a lot of medical stuff. Now that it's been cancelled all over the world, what is the reason? What is the take? What will Uganda do to really improve on such a thing to help in the medical perspective of things? And also, what are some of the things that we know for sure that will happen to help Uganda itself develop from depending on USAID, because they have really been very, very pivotal. We also know that he said that one of the things that Uganda should actually focus on is to do some of the things that they have been doing, generating money locally within Africa, within all localities, so that they can help in so many aspects to develop the ability to really fund certain things and certain government programs by themselves instead of relying on the funding from outside, because as we know it's very very easy for people to rely on foreign aid, which is typical of African culture, because many people don't many government don't really do the things that they're supposed to do as a government. Much as people pay taxes, they get a lot of funding from outside to support some of their projects. So Norbert Mao came in and said people should stop on that. The government should actually look into various ways of doing. They have oil, so Uganda should look into oil, and also Uganda should really focus on minerals and look at some of the coffee growing and stuff, cotton and other stuff, to help really to improve some of the things that we know for sure that is going to be helpful for the country as a whole. Now, that is with a lot of stuff concerning most of the things that Norbert Mao said, which is very very true. He also said that he doesn't want to clarify exactly where, let's say, where he is going to stand in come. 2026, because we know Uganda is coming for election is 2026, and it's going to be very very intriguing to see what will happen with most of the things that Mao said, because he said he doesn't want people to speculate, because he has seen many people already talking, oh, Mao is going to come back to Gulu and be the mayor or be the MP and stuff. Every pants are shaking and stuff, because they know he might come to stand in the political arena, but he is not. So he said he's going to be happy to announce certain things that will happen for sure when it comes to the election 2026. So he will see if he's able to do something like that for the main purpose of his ability. As we know, he's right now as the current Justice Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, which is really very very into it, and he says he's still really going to do stuff that will make him stay close to the government. As you know, he likes to say, actually. So he wants to be there, know why our president has lasted for so long there. And he's going to take his time to see if everything goes on well. Then he will also get a strategy to make all those things work for himself to become a real political man, I would say, in the presidential aspect of it. So let's see and wait if that is going to be crucial the in his choices to make, because many people are thinking Norbert Mao would come and join the MP or political aspect in northern Uganda, but he really declined and said he's not yet ready to tell people, but when time comes, he's going to go on and allow people to understand what his intention is exactly. Now, that those are some of the few things that I know within Uganda that we I wanted to discuss with you guys. But also, we know the few things that happened. Many things happen locally. Some of my friends might actually come up with it later on. If we don't do that today, maybe next week or tomorrow, some other day, we shall bring some of the details that happened. We also know on the entertainment aspect, we know for sure that there's been a struggle between wealth creation, that is work they call it. It's been a problem. Many many people have been, many artists have been disagreeing on certain things here and there. We know that there is a problem with the artists disagreeing on who owns work and why work is coming into existence in northern Uganda. So we have that aspect. So Salim Saleh, as the chairperson or the leader of the wealth creation, has actually come out to assign Gilbert Olanya, who is the MP of Amoro district, to take on the case so that he can bring in those two groups, which is Work A and Work B, to come together to decide on how he can actually help those people. Work also is a is it's an organization, or I would say it's just a team that has been made to support Northern artists, to help them really to grow in their aspects of life in general, to improve on their musical aspect and entertainment in general. So they're really trying to do that a lot to help Northern artists or West Nile artists, Karamoja and Lira, so that they can come together and merge and be a team that can be supported generally in all aspects, in all ways, to musically and also financially in many aspects. But because of the disagreement that I've been having in so many ways, they are really bringing in uh, Gilbert Olanya as the MP to decide and help them really make an informed decision so they can move on with the aspects of funding. That's what I would say about work. Those are a few details that I have about northern Uganda, and some other details that will come also later on in your comment. Let me know if you have anything in the comment, and I will actually read them to you. Now let's go and look at the repercussion of USAID in Africa. Now, I'll bring you a background for this in a simple way. Now, since Donald Trump joined, that is political aspect, become the president, the last 2 weeks, there are lots of stuff that has been happening. There are lots of signings and paperwork that he has actually gone in full board, I would say, without even consulting anybody. Because when he stood in here, he promised to people that there will be massive deportation that nobody can ever imagine. His rule or his law or his presidency would be the most, I would say, the most increased numbers of deportation that USA would have. So on that note, we know for sure that he has been actually doing it since he joined in the first day of his uh, inauguration. He actually started right away by deporting a lot of people. Now, who are these people being deported, guys? It's not just anyone who is being deported, but they are looking into people who are illegally joining the U.S., with the exceptions of people who came in legally. Now, who are the illegal people who come to the U.S.? From my understanding, from a lot of resources and stuff that have been really announced in here in the US, we know for sure that people who have come into the US and stayed beyond the visas, like you have been given a visa for 3 months, you come and stay, you stay beyond your visas. So that means you're illegal in the United States. So if the ICE, which is called ICE, the International Criminal agency, comes to your house, they will just get you straight away because they have records of everyone who are who have overstayed in the United States. So that is one thing which is happening. A lot of Indians have been deported. A lot of Guatemala people, that is. Mexican also have been really going on. Africans have been really deported. The number of deportation that I've seen of recent is about 5,000 um, people who were illegal, I mean, in the United States, have all been deported to their various countries and continents. So with that, I know Trump has been very loud with these issues of deportation, but the history also tells us that Trump's deportation policy is not the most affected. When we look at Obama's deportation, they're actually saying that Obama's deportation policy was higher than any other president yet in the last few years that the U.S. has ever had their president. But it wasn't that loud the way Trump actually announces his. So it's not a very new thing that many Africans, many Mexicans, many South Americans or Filipinos are being deported uh, because he makes it so loud, people think it's like something that doesn't happen. It happens every single day, I would say, for anyone. As immigrants, as we people who are living in the US, sometimes we think deportation is only happening during Trump's season or presidency. It's not. Everyone, every president at least have a policy where they deport people who are illegally staying in the US, which is very normal. But because he has really brought it in a very, I would say, louder manner, people think it's really outrageous. It's not something that happens. But the truth is, people are being deported every single day. Illegal immigrants, even people who have green cards, sometimes you could be deported because if you commit crimes, even if you have green card, that means you they term it as illegal, so they will take you back because of your criminal issues. But if you have green card and you live your life without really operating in drugs, operating in things that we know that the government doesn't accept, that means you are eligible to stay. You will live in the U.S. as much as you have your visas and stuff or green card working on well, supporting your case. But if you commit crimes, you're eligible to be gone anytime, any minute, as long as you are caught or found by the ICE, that is ICE. Those are the people who are in charge of deportation. So it's been massive. Many people are crying all over the world. People are trying to hide. Especially in New York, cities like Atlanta, those are cities that are having so many high numbers of immigrants who are illegally occupying those spaces. So they have been it's been a journey. So it's crazy, but that is one issue that is overriding in the news here in the U.S. Like guys, and that is with deportation. It's happening. It's going to happen even every single moment, since we know. And also looking at now the US aid, let's go back to that topic because that's what we want to talk about mostly because African countries, even the world at large, has really suffered out of this. I've seen many people all over the world crying. Why this? First of all, leave alone unemployment that this canceling or really scrubbing off the US aid all over the world has caused, because that's just the main thing. Like unemployment rates has really increased in all the countries that were really getting finances or funding from the US. Especially my country in Uganda, I've heard of people now who are having programs, so organizations being supported by USAID, they have lost their job. There's a friend of mine that just said he used to work in the medical aspect, which was funded by USAID. He now doesn't have a job. You know, it's alarming because we know that most of the developing countries depend on aids from foreign countries. So if that is the case, unemployment rates will arise in every single part of the world because we know US is so big and it's supported a lot of communities. It's supported a lot of people all over the world. So being that is cancelled. The reason why it's actually been cancelled from here in the US, they're saying that because Trump doesn't want uh, uh, US money to go out of the country, and yet they can't support their local community as well. So he wants to move that money that is going all over the world to bring it back into the country so they can create more jobs or create more opportunities for the people here. As you know, his slogan says, uh, you guys already know, um, so making America great again. So he wants to make America great again because he thinks people are getting finances from America, and it's making America lose a lot of things in all aspects in the war or in the aspects. It's not only U.S. aid actually; he's come with a lot of foreign policies in these few weeks that he has been in office that some of you might not understand, but if you look closely, he's brought in. We have some of the policies about immigrants that is birthright. If you are an immigrant and you live in the US, officially legal immigrants, and you give birth from here, your child has the right to become a US citizen. So this is becoming a challenge because he has evoked that rule, which is still debatable, and the court is still going to agree on it if it is going to be right or not. They're thinking it's not going to be a very easy thing for him to pull out because many people think it's going to be against human rights if you tell people that their children are not U.S. citizens just because they are immigrants, but they're legal. So that is the rule that has been here for so long and so many years. So it's becoming a problem for other people, and people are living in fear because they don't know what is coming next. As you know, the president that we have is, yeah, he is who he is right now. So getting back to my U.S. aid, now the few things that I want to air out, some of the dangers that we shall have because of the U.S. canceling and defunding of many things. Now, first of all, we're saying freezing the funding to the United States through the United Agency, that is USAID Africa, could have many dangerous consequences. Number one, that is health crisis. We know for sure that many hospitals in Africa or even around the world were being funded by USAID. Now, because this is now cancelled, on top of unemployment, medicines like ARVs, malaria treatments, cholera treatments, Ebola treatments, some of those things are going to be really, really challenging in Africa or in the world in general. I'm talking of Africa because I come from Africa. So it's going to be really, really difficult. Why do I say it's going to be difficult? Because many of the government that we have in Africa don't really focus on bringing in money that can support their own government, that can support their own health facilities. Looking at back in my country, sometimes you have a hospital and you don't have medicine in them. You have workers, but you don't really see them coming to job because they're not being paid. So stuff like that is going to arise so much, which is very, very alarming in my view. It's going to be very, very difficult for African countries to come out of this health crisis. I've seen already in Kampala, some of the people who have been getting ARVs, that is HIV medicine, have started really crying because they go to the mainstream hospitals to get some medicine, and they're still functioning for now, but how long will they function? Because if the aid is not there that brings them the money and the medicine, it's going to be really, really difficult for any person living with HIV really to go into that. So it's difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult for many people to go through that, as we know. So HIV is becoming a very, very difficult thing to handle in Africa. It will be very difficult because there's nothing like funding coming out to support them. That is one thing. So health services are going to be in dangers and in big, big problems. Now, another thing is humanitarian crisis. Why do we say the defunding of a lot of African states and other places will lead to humanitarian crisis? Now, USAID programs that provide food, clean water, and healthcare without funding, this program could be disrupted, leaving people without food, water, and medicine. It's still the same thing because this money helps a lot of these African countries. Food and humanitarian aids is going to be a trouble in Uganda. It's going to be trouble in all of Africa. And then we have increased migration. So many people are going to move. The providing food and clean water and stuff, like when people don't have access to food, water, and medicine, and they don't even have any other thing to live on, many people are going to move around. So if you can't really support yourself by yourself, you're going to move. So that is one thing that is really going to happen with this defunding of people in Africa with the name. So we have increased number of migration that is going to happen, increased voluntary vulnerability terrorism, because as we know, these fundings would help people to would help the government to finance the states and the army and stuff to help protect the people or citizen. It's going to be very difficult now for many African countries to do that, which is very, very serious. Now, increased Chinese influence, that's what people are saying now, that US is canceling all the aids Chinese are going to take in. As we know, US and China are having a lot of tariffs in between themselves and becoming an issue. Now we have job losses, unemployment. We already talked about that. Excuse me, which is one thing that is going to happen. Then we have also, yeah, rising of maybe war even between people, because many people who are very innocent and not having stuff will be in trouble, and it's something that is happening. So let's see what happens, and let's see what will arise from all of these problems. Now, that is something that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know in the comment what you think and what you may you want us really to discuss, and see what do you think this issue will bring to us. Do you think maybe some of the issues will arise from some of the things that I've talked about and some of the breaking news that you have around your community? Let me know, and we shall really, really dive into some of those things, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. We just here for a little bit. We're not gonna go so much, and if there's no comment, really, let me know, and we shall see what will come out from all this as we wind down some of the things that we have done. Now, it's been a pleasure talking to you and really being there for you guys. And let's see what will happen as the USAID is really becoming an issue and a problem in the world of Africa and everywhere. So let's see what will happen next, if everything goes on well or not. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. We shall give you all the latest news and stuff as we bring to you live coverage. There are going to be a lot of content coming about on the channel as well, both in English and in Acholi, which would be really, really important. So put in your notification if you know you want to be part of this program, and every single day we shall be with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video as I will bring you some of the sports and stuff going around in the channel. Thanks so much for watching. See you in a bit. One love.